Go. We're live. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to my podcast this evening. My special guest is Rich Villalva. Rich, thanks for joining us tonight. It's a great pleasure speaking with you. How you feeling?
Hey, George. Hey, everybody. Feeling pretty good. Pretty good, considering.
Well, I like I said at the beginning here, a year ago, I was at a function for you, and after I had to tell you this, you're 100% better than you were a year ago. And thank God.
Yeah, that was
Seriously,
rough.
man. God bless you, man.
It's been a rough year.
Well, I saw you sing the other night, and you're very talented. I've heard you before, and I gotta say, great job, man. You kicked the shit out of it. Holy cow! So, before we get started here, what got you into music?
Oh boy. Well, most of my family, I came from a very musical family. My parents, neither one of them were musicians, but they were music lovers. And there was so many influences in my house. My dad being Mexican, my mom being Italian from Jersey, oldies, country, Mexican music, 50s, whatever. And, every Saturday we'd have I have 4 siblings, and we'd clean the house and they'd crank up the tunes and we'd dance around the house, cleaning the house. And, my parents were incredible dancers. So that kind of started everything. And then probably preteens or early teens, my older brother, Lou, who's about 9 years older than me, he played solo acoustic and in a duo. And I was just mesmerized by that. That was like, it was just hypnotized. Like, I want to do that someday. That's really what got me kickstarted on all this. So then fast forward a few years, and I learned some chords. I tried to take lessons, but I just was not disciplined enough for that. So I'd play at high school parties, junior high school parties, and I had a buddy that played with me. And he wasn't really a guitar player. He was just kind of an entertainer type guy. We called ourselves the Mexican Pelicans. We were junior high school. So basically, the football parties and stuff. And when the jocks were wrestling each other in the other room, me and him were in the other room with all the cheerleaders listening to us play. And I was like, that's where it clicked. I was like, girls like this, So it kind of got me motivated to get better and get in front of people. I was very shy as a kid, and then all of a sudden something changed, and the music really changed my whole personality, and so I just built it from there.
Well, when we're all kids, there's usually a song or album that we attract ourselves to or go towards. What was the first album or song that made you want to be in the music industry, want to be a singer?
Oh my God. There are so many that I could. Oh boy, the first one. Oh my God. Well, I think one of the first 8 tracks I got was Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon. But early on, for some reason, I got really into blues as a very young kid. The real blues, Muddy Waters, Howlin' Wolf. I don't know. My mother still, God rest his soul, my mother was like, where does that come from? This is not coming from us. But it was big blues influence. So a lot of the original Muddy Waters stuff, Albert King and stuff, which actually turned out to be Led Zeppelin and other bands like that basically, just rocked up those tunes. But the album, I don't really know if I have a specific album. I really did like the Allman Brothers early on because they were blues, basically.
Right.
So, but that's really where it started, like blues rock stuff.
How would you describe your music to people who have never seen you play or perform?
Oh my God. Well,
I'm making you think here, man.
Well, yeah, I know. My God, you're making me think. No wonder you said go get a drink. So, when people ask me, I'm kind of like a musically schizophrenic. So I play everything. I play a little bit of everything. When I read the room, if you've ever seen me play live, anybody else out there, I start my show by saying, "Here's what we're doing." Yell them out. Yell the songs out. and whatever genre it is, whatever era it is, and my tagline is, if I know it, I'll play it, and if I don't know it, I'll still play it.
You did it the other
So
night
I
at the
did that.
cans.
Right. I did exactly. So basically, when they ask me what I play, I'll say, well, I do a lot of stuff like Stapleton type stuff and country stuff, but then it's, rock, blues, reggae, mm, Sinatra, oldies, new stuff, alternative, pretty much a little bit of everything I can touch. If it's within my wheelhouse or my power to do it, I will do it. I'm the guy that will jump off that cliff and fall on my face, and I'm not afraid to do that. But luckily, I don't do that much. But sometimes I do.
How has your music evolved from your earlier work to now?
Uh, well, I used to scream a lot more than I do now. I got older and I kind of learned a little more about control in my voice. And my taste has changed a little bit, not much, but uh, I learned volume control and audio settings a lot better than I used to. So I think I've got a lot more clear in my vocals, and they kind of evolved and now enabled me to do stuff that I didn't think I was going to be able to do. So it's kind of evolved that way. It's kind of got a little more polished, I think in general. When you're
Who was
screaming
your
over when you're screaming over a band, it's a different thing. When it's solo acoustic, you kind of have a little more control over it.
What do you like better? Do you like solo acoustic that I saw you at McCann's, or do you like the group setting that you were part of with Rock Bottom? What do you prefer?
Well,
What are you more comfortable with?
I spent probably 30 something years in various bands, and I love the energy of the stage with a full band. Obviously, I mean, it's a hard it's a hard thing to call because at the time that I stopped doing full band and went solo for about 3 years ago or so, it was a welcome change because I've been doing it so long. I was burnt out, and I was like, man, I really love this solo acoustic stuff. You have so much control, and you have so much. You can change on a dime. You don't have it. And the only person you have to argue with is yourself, and sometimes you win. Uh, but but I say that, and I say, man, it's great. But when I get up with a full band, that energy, there's nothing. Obviously, if you're a musician, there's nothing that matches that. And lately, I've gotten up with a few bands in the area. Moondoggy, Jen Barnes band, let's be frank, Eddie Testa, and that energy just comes right back. Especially this year I was asked to do the Beatles show and the Stones show, and that energy just, man, it just, especially being out of it for a while, just like, oh man, I'm beating my chest up there. So they both have their positives. It's hard to say what I like better. I do like the solitude of having the solo acoustic thing. I enjoy that. I like being the guy in the background for a change. That you don't know my name sometimes. I'm just the guy in the background. So that was a welcome change. But of course, we all like to get up front and be that front man too. So that's coming too. I have some stuff coming down the pike to do that.
We'll talk about that later. You'll let us know what's going on, because you told me you have a bunch of stuff coming. We'll let people know about that as we
Yep.
keep going tonight. Who are your biggest musical influences, and are there any non-musical influences that shape the music that you sing?
Hmm. Well, like I said before, probably my main influences, right? Like if you really want to go down to, strip it down from the beginning. But actually, believe it or not, early on, because of my brother, he played a lot of James Taylor, which I love. I probably know every freaking James Taylor song out there, and play half of them. And Beatles, he's a big Beatles guy, so I was a big Beatles guy. But I think that even around that same time or even younger, it had to be blues. It had to be uh, uh, the old school stuff. Like I said, Muddy Waters, Howlin' Wolf, Albert King. For some reason, that stuff just hit me. Gospel music, believe it or not, like Dixie Hummingbirds, uh, Williams Brothers, stuff like that. Soul Stirrers, which was Sam Cooke's original band. I'm a big, huge Sam Cooke fan. A lot of that old stuff, and I think some of that influence came from my parents, with like the Sam Cooke and the old stuff. But for some reason, blues just hit me hard at a very young age. I don't know where or what direction it came from, but it definitely smacked me in the head.
Who is your idol? Who has influenced you the most in your life? And I think from just listening to you the first 10 minutes, I might have a guess who, but I'll let you say it.
Well, let's see. Well, big influence is obviously my brother Lou musically, because I was just that he made me. I decided right then that I want to do that someday. So that was a big push for me. Was that? But obviously my parents, they just always supported the music, and always loved the music. And again, just at a young age, and watching my parents dance, and they were so good, that it was like a proud feeling. So it made me want to do something with music. So that would probably be the answer to that.
If I remember you correctly, you said your father just passed away. If I'm correct
Both
on
of my
that,
parents passed this past year. Yes, my
my
dad
prayers
was.
are with you and your family, Rich.
Thank you,
That's,
thank
I
you.
mean, God bless you. I forgot to say that in the very beginning. I wanted
Yeah,
to
it's been
mention
it's
it to
been
you.
been a rough year with that, and my diagnosis and stuff.
Right,
But
right.
life is life.
They say things. Unfortunately, they say things happen in threes. Shit, you had threes
Yeah,
for you, man.
right.
What is your most memorable performance in your musical career, and why would you say it is your most memorable one?
Uh, well, there were there was throughout the years playing with Rock Bottom, playing with Only Human. My original band, the first band I was ever in, a real band, was called Black Cat Bone. We were out of Edison. We all grew up in Edison, and one of my most memorable moments with that was we opened for the band at the Daisy Festival in East Brunswick, and we were big band fans. We could probably do the whole Last Waltz album, and so a big memory for me with that was we got to set up on their stage uh, and use some of their equipment, and they gave us a trailer, butted right up next to their trailer, and Levon Helm was right outside the window, and we invited him in. He came in to our trailer and hung out with us before we went on, which was really cool. That was a big memorable moment. And he said, "You guys play any band songs?" And we were like, "Yes, we do." He goes, "Oh, you should play them." I said, "We're not going to play band songs opening for the band." But getting on that stage and setting down my amp in front of, Garth Hudson's keyboards while he's sitting at his keyboards, like fiddling around, was just surreal for me. It was like, wow, how did this happen? We were playing in a bar down the street the week before, and their promoter came in, and he's a hippie looking dude, older guy. And he's like, "You guys want to open for the band?" And we're like, "Yeah, right. Yeah, okay." And he goes, "No, seriously." And he goes, I said, "When?" He goes, "Next week." He goes, we need an opening act. And it's, right down the street. And we were like, holy crap, but we did it, and it was fun, so that was probably one of my most memorable moments.
Nice. What was the most unusual or funniest thing that's ever happened to you during a show?
Oh my God. Uh, Oh my God. I knew these questions ahead of time.
That's all. That's all the point of a podcast. It's all fun, man. Everybody gets to learn stuff about you. That's the best part about it. I know.
Um, oh, there's some things that were really, I don't know if they were that appropriate, but stupid things, funny stuff. I remember playing at a bar with Only Human, and we were doing, I believe it was One Way Out, and there was a guy in the audience that was on a wheelchair or scooter, and place was going crazy, and he fell over in front of us on the floor right when I was saying, "There's a man down there." and which was kind of funny. That's not that appropriate, but it was a funny moment. If Mike Madden remembers that, because we were cracking up, and that was not nice, but that was a funny moment. I've had funny moments on stage at different bars where there were fights in the audience, and the band keeps playing, and somebody gets knocked out, and then we go right into, I get knocked down, but I get up again, and things like
Jeez,
that.
that's like Roadhouse, huh? Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
it's kind of like we just say, look at each other, we know what. All right, we're gonna do this one now.
Wow.
But there are so many. I mean, if the musicians that are out there listening to this, the funny stuff that happens. There's at least every gig something crazy in the audience happens. We all get those people that fall over and knock our mic into our face on stage, and things like that. But yeah, I mean, if I a little more time, I'm sure I could have thought of something better than that. But yeah, there's a lot of funny stuff that does happen.
What's the best piece of advice another musician ever gave to you?
Um, the best piece of advice, I think, is if you screw up on stage, don't stop. Don't just keep playing. Play through it. Make it look like you're meant to do it. Make it look like you have a good time on stage. Those things that people have taught me. Practice. Harmonies and vocals are very important. Stuff like that. And yeah, always look like you're in a good mood. I've had musicians tell me, there's certain type of musicians that never smile. If you ever see that, it's that cool rock star scowl. I can't do that. I've had musicians tell me I smile too much on stage, because it's obviously not cool, I guess, to do that. But I do that. So, but advice wise, it was probably the biggest one was just keep going. If you make a mistake, just keep going.
I guess it answers the question. The next one was what was the biggest lesson you learned from a disastrous performance? I guess it goes hand in hand with the last question.
Well, yeah, and a disastrous performance. A lot of times, dead air is a killer. And when you book, like, when I was in, most of my bands that I've been in, I've done the lion's share of the booking. So, always, that you're the appropriate band for the room you're playing. Because I've been in situations where we were not the appropriate band for the room we were playing. And that's awkward, when everybody in the room saying play this, play that, and you're not the band that plays that, so that's probably would answer that question.
That's got to be tough.
It is tough.
That's
It is
gotta be
tough
really
when you
tough,
realize,
man.
when you're up there and you realize you are not the right band for the room, or I've also learned from disastrous performances is that when you're sick, get a sub or cancel. I've played very sick through gigs as a lead singer, and I've had severe bronchitis on stage where I just talked every song like this, and I said, I'm a bull. I can do it. I'm going to trudge through it, and I did do it. But you're only as good as your worst performance, and nowadays there's all kinds of people with cameras out there, and everybody's recording. And if you have a shitty performance, that's what people are going to see, and especially now, I'm very conscious of that because I came back after a year. And if I have a bad performance, it's, oh my God, look what happened to Rich, that type of thing. So I'm really trying to make an effort to have, quality performances.
What's the biggest challenge being a musician today?
Relationship. That's a cover band or any band really, but relationships are tough if you work a lot, and I work a decent amount. There's people out there that work way more than me, and it amazes me how they can do it. You know, uh, and maintain a relationship. I mean, um, I could say, music and band life has probably ruined almost every relationship I've ever been in. Although my biggest relationship is with music, but uh, I think that where I'm at now and in relationship and now, I think is a good spot, and there's a great understanding. So I think that's this one's going to work out good. But you really got to be careful about who you're involved with and how they can handle the life, because it is hard. And I try to see some examples of people I see out there that have great relationships and work a lot, and I'm like, man, I just envy that. I mean, to say some names like Frankie P has the best relationship, but they've the greatest people. Eddie Testa and Carmen, they're just, how do they do it? It's just, they're great couples, and and with that, and it's a huge challenge, and I'm challenged that I am still trying to master, because it's hard to turn down the gigs, and when you want to do things on the weekend and have a personal life. And this time around, I said, I'm not going to book that much, and I'm going to have a personal life more, so I can do things. And it's kind of working out that way, but I'm getting hit a lot with a lot of gigs now, so I really have to keep an eye on that and maintain my relationships as well. Friends, family, and relationships.
It's important that you see that. I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
that's the
it's
first step
especially
in
that I'm
knowing.
older now. I'm older now. I used to not care so much about that, but I care a lot more about that now.
Called humility, man. That's what that's called. If you could change anything about the music, I just asked that one. Sorry. If you could change anything in the music industry, what would it be compared to the old days?
Hmm.
That's
Well, when you say music industry, I mean, for me, I'm a cover band guy, so it's really cover band scene. I don't really have
I'll
much.
rephrase the cover band scene from back when you first started to today. I'll rephrase that.
If I could change anything,
Yes.
hmm,
About
that's
how it used to be to what it is today. Some people would say, look, the music like back in the day it was fantastic. Now we got a lot of challenges. I mean, I don't know. I mean, is that what you see now? Was it better back then or is it better now?
well, I personally think it's better now, because I'm in a better place. You know, um, Believe it or not, I'm probably playing a lot of the same music that I was playing back in the '80s, or '70s, or you know. But you know, people say the pay hasn't changed, but it has. If you're getting a better band and you play at better venues, the pay has changed. The pay hasn't changed that much, uh, but it's gotten a little better. I guess it's because I have got more experience, and you can get more money, I guess. Uh, but personally, with me, I I, I think it's become, especially in Jersey Shore, I think it's become really super competitive because of social media. So if I could have a wish that would never happen, it would be to go back to how it was before social media, because there's just it's just too much. And now with the AI and all the promos, it's just, if you see in my promos, I deliberately don't use AI. I go old school. I do regular pictures. I don't do fancy stuff, and I do that consciously, because everybody else is doing the other thing, and then everybody and their brother is out there with the all the here's this. I know it's a great service. This one's playing here, this one's playing there, this one's playing there. It is good for promos. It's good for get the people out. But I don't know. For some reason, I used to like it better the old way. Maybe I'm old. But I think it's just a lot of overkill these days with social media.
What would you do? What would you hope the audience feels or takes away from your performance when you do a gig?
I hope uh, that they feel my soul when I play. That I can, you know, convey that to other people of how I'm feeling. Because when I'm performing, you know, I have a lot of feeling. I have a lot of soul in whatever I do, just because that's my personality. And you know, my hope is that kind of sticks onto other people when they listen to. And from what I'm told, it does. You know, that they I don't only want them to hear what I'm playing. I want them to feel it. You know, and so that's kind of my goal. You know, and my hope that's what I'm doing, you know, where they can go home and feel good and be happy about it. You know.
What's a couple of your favorite venues? I'm going to put you on the spot here. Just give me a couple. I know it's
Oh my
hard because
God,
there are a couple of favorite venues
you're gonna
that
get
you've
me lynched.
performed at.
Uh,
Not trying to get you lynched.
well, you know, I can say, you know, uh, because of longevity and you know that I've been working at certain places for so long. Probably, I've probably been you know, every once a month up till I got sick, up once a month, probably for 13 years. I was at Bum Rogers, and they've always treated me great, like family. And you know, there's always a good crowd in there. So there's that. That's one of them. Oh my God, it's just it's hard to say because they're all good. You know, these days I like a lot of the outdoor venues. I like, you know, as I mellowed out, I like the wineries and stuff like that. I play at Fox Hollow and Tom Sello Winery. So for those acoustic gigs, you know, those are good. But, you know, I've recently played at some really good venues that I, you know, never played at. I had a great night when I saw you. Where was it?
McCann's.
McCann.
McCann's.
That's another one I just started. Rivs Hub was a good time. All those places out there, uh, you know, the River Rock, and when I used to play with the band, those were always great venues, always crowded rooms. Um, Max Pub and Tom's River. You know, there's just so many. I could, you know, if I missed anybody, I'm sorry, but
Sorry.
I like them all. To be honest, I like all of them in a different way. You know, but I would say for as longevity goes, Bums was probably the, you know, that's a home. That's, I would consider that like a home. You know, it's, I've been there forever, and I'll be back there. I spoke to them, and you know, I'll be back there soon on the
Nice.
schedule. Right now, I'm at Island Beach Fish Company. When I come back for the rest of this season, we're going to book some more there, and then I think it seems like I'm going to be. He called me, and I think I'm going to be back on the schedule over at Bums. But I'm
Good. As
excited to get in McCann's as well, you know, and hopefully we can keep that running in there too. You know,
Kansas is a nice spot. It's a nice, comfortable spot there. He's done a great job with that
yeah,
place.
hmm
I saw. It's a great setup. Great setup for what you do with the acoustics and stuff.
hmm
I think that's a good gig for you. I think it's a good
yeah,
gig.
yeah. It's like that pub style, pub feel, and I like that, you know. And the
Correct.
clientele in there likes the kind of music I play, so you know that's always good too. You know, they like the style, so you know.
If you could play with any musician, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Hmm. Well, um, one of my main influences growing up was Paul Rogers from Bad Company. I kind of emulated his voice, so that would definitely be one. I did see him in concert. I met him backstage, you know, and I love always his vocals were always just, you know, great. Um, but there's other ones, you know. You know, dead or alive. Jeez. Uh, uh, well, I always wish I could play with Chris Stapleton. uh, but oh man, so those two, you know, those are two, but it's that's also a tough question. Greg Allman, you know,
Right.
somebody like that.
Kind of goes hand in hand with the last question. If you could open a show for any artist out there, who would it be?
Uh, right now, if I could open for like a Chris Stapleton, I would love that. That changed. That tomorrow it might be somebody else, you know. But I'm going to see him in August. You know, in
Playing
Camden.
PNC?
Uh, uh, Camden.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good spot. Good spot. What kind of music do you like to listen to?
Uh, whew. Uh, Again, like I said, I'm musically schizophrenic. So depends how I feel when I wake up in the morning. So I do, you know, when I make my breakfast, I put on, you know, 70s folk stuff, 70s rock. I love that era. But then again, you know, I'll put on, you know, Velvet Revolver, or I love alternative rock, or alternative hard rock. Sometimes I'll get up in the morning and I'll put on, like I said, the Dixie Hummingbirds, and I listen to upbeat gospel, who literally are some of the best musicians out there. The bands are phenomenal if you listen to the musicality of it. And you know, that's something it's a pet project I always wanted to do, was do like a vocal gospel band and do it at a venue, like on a Sunday around brunch, you know, and just have guest musicians come in. Didn't do it almost like church, but not church, because, you know, no really real denomination of religion, just that feeling on a Sunday, and you can drink, you know, and get into that music, which is kind of blues and gospel, and you know, so I do tend to lean that way sometimes. I also really like old school country. George Jones, one of my all-time favorite. Merle Haggard, one of my all-time favorite. So I know it's a roundabout answer, but there's a lot of favorites.
Gotcha. What's your favorite song to perform at your gigs? Do you have one?
Hmm. Uh, One of my favorite songs to perform. Uh, hmm. Anybody out there hearing this? What is my favorite song to perform? It depends who I'm playing it for.
Like, Jack, want to dial a friend?
Yeah, I know. Do I get a lifeline for that?
Lifeline. There you go. There you go.
um, I'm trying to think, man. You know, I always open my shows with like Broken Halos by Chris Stapleton, or I like playing Luke Combs stuff. I like playing Beautiful Crazy, things like that, you know, nowadays. But if I'm playing in a rock band, um, anything Chris Cornell, uh, that style, that stuff, I love to do. Lately I've been also Velvet Revolver. I love singing "Fall to Pieces" is a great song. Uh, to name a few, but you know, there's, again, this all depends on my mood of the day, you know. So that could change on a dime, you know.
How do you approach practicing and rehearsing? Any unique techniques or routines that you go through or use?
Okay, so as a solo, I have thousands of songs in my list, and so when I practice, I remember the ones that I'm struggling on, and I work on those, and I also uh, cheat by adjusting keys to my voice. So I sit here and for hours, and I'll play through songs, and I'll adjust. Here's my key for this song, and I make notes in my iPad of here's my what. So when I'm on stage, I don't get stuck and play it in the wrong key, which is very bad, because if you mid song you realize you're not playing it in the right key, it can be a bad thing. So there's that, and there's also what I do to learn or get ideas for songs is I listen to music a lot at home. I hardly watch TV. It's always on, and I have a pad in every room. So when something hits me, I write it down. That I want to learn that song, you know. And a lot of times, if you see any of my videos on Facebook, I learn it, and 10 minutes later, I put it on Facebook and hope it goes over. But that's my theory for practicing that. I really every solo gig I do try to make a set list, and I never have one. I never get around to it. I go into every gig with no set list, and I just kind of go off the top of my head and what I think or what people suggest. Now, as far as a band goes, very regimented. I want, like, when I was leading bands, we would pick our tunes and we would practice at home, show up at rehearsal, and you better know the song and be ready to play it. And so as rehearsals go, for a band, I was always very like on the dot with everything. I would handwrite every piece of the song out, so I would know all the breaks, all the backgrounds, everything. So when we would argue in rehearsal, I would say, no. I wrote it down line. I do one line, pause it, one line, pause it. So I know when I get to rehearsal, what I have written down that is how the song goes. You can argue and argue and argue with me until I say, play it, let's play it. And then it's, oh, you were right. Yeah, I was right. I spent 2 hours writing the frigging thing out. But that's a lot more regimented in a band situation where, and in a band situation, I try to keep it in the real key. As solo, I have the freedom to jump around with keys, but in the band, I try to keep it true to the key.
What do you do for fun that has absolutely nothing to do with music?
What I do for fun, I spend a lot of time with my dogs. I like to go places with my girlfriend, and I like to, oh boy, what do I do for fun? I'm not a sports guy at all. Not at all. People get mad at me for that, by the way. Like, how can you not be a sports guy? But when I'm not playing music, I'm listening to music. I like to go see people play, things like that. I'm a big beach guy. I love going to the beach. I'm one of those shirtless guys all summer. This summer is a little rough. They tell me I'm not supposed to be out in the sun that much quite yet. I'm still going through radiation, but eventually I'll get back to that. But yeah, the beach is a big one. Anything out in the sun that I can be outside, outdoors.
What song always puts you in a good mood?
Samba Pati by Santana.
Okay.
That always makes me feel good for some reason.
Good song. Good
Yeah.
song.
It's a great coffee and song in the morning to kickstart your day.
What qualities, in your opinion, make a good musician?
Personality. You have to have some kind of personality that you can project onto people. You don't have to be the greatest player. I am by no means the greatest player, but I do okay because I connect with the audience. To me, that's the most important quality. You can be the greatest player, and I've seen so many great schooled players out there that just are wet mops. They look at the ground, they don't look at the audience, and they can be the best player in the world, and people get bored. So I do like to connect with the audience. I think that's the biggest, for me at least, it's the most important quality.
What's the most useless talent you have?
What's the most useless talent I have? Oh my God.
Useless talent you have.
Well, it could be. It's probably this. That's probably the most useless talent I have.
That's
I don't know.
That's great.
Maybe in a Western you can do that. I can't even do it now.
It's like a mating call.
Yeah. For what? Call. I don't know.
There you go. There you go. Okay. What advice would you tell a young musician today getting into the music industry?
The advice that I would give a young musician would be: don't be scared. Get out there and just don't be scared. Just do it. Even if you don't think you can do it or you think you're not ready, make yourself ready. Just put yourself in front of people as much as you can. Uh, Even if you're not ready, just keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. And eventually it comes in levels, and you get more and more comfortable. And the more comfortable you get, the better you get. So definitely don't shrink away and keep going. I'm not, if you have doubts in yourself, whatever, just keep it going. And eventually it comes if you keep it going. And again, like I said, I'm not the most schooled musician out there. I just go by how, my little bubble.
Well, you've been around a while, so I'm sure you got some good advice for the young ones that want to come
Yeah.
up. For
Yeah. That
sure.
would be it. That would be it. Just keep going and stick. Don't be afraid.
Okay, this is a good one for you. What would you do if the audience looked tired and bored during your performance?
Besides saying like, is this thing on? If they look tired and bored, I would try to engage them in the show, which I do anyway. But I try to talk to people and engage them into the show, kind of find out what they want to hear, and obviously pick it up and play something that wakes them up a little bit, or something that's a dynamic vocally, or something that's going to make them turn their head and say, "Oh, listen to this," to kind of keep it's interesting, or play something hokey and funny that's stupid, like Shalom Ding Dong or Jefferson's theme, something stupid to get people, laughing.
You kind of did that the other night.
I did.
I got me laughing when you said, "Give me a song that you want, even if I don't know it, I'll do it." And I was
Yeah.
like, "Damn, he's gonna do it. He doesn't know." I'm like,
Yes,
"Wow."
I do that. And what's funny about that is sometimes it's a train wreck, but if the audience is invested and they suggested it, they're invested in it. So they don't mind it that much if it's a train wreck, because you did it for them. If somebody asked for it and you tried it, they're appreciative that you tried it.
I'm not
So
gonna know
yeah,
if it was a
I'm
train
not
wreck or
afraid to do
not.
that. What's that?
I wouldn't know if it was a train wreck or not. It was like when I was in broadcasting on the radio. No one knew, like no one knew what was going on. Like we used to go to commercials all the time, and I'm like, oh my god, the play just ran, and just made something up very quickly, right? No one
Hmm.
knows a lot of the lyrics of the song. I would have known if it was a train wreck or not.
Yeah, I mean, uh, I'm kind of fearless in that way. I'll do it if it's within my ability to do. I'll try it.
I just find it amazing you guys that sing. I mean, for fun, I go to do karaoke, right? And I was a singer when I was a kid. I can't sing worth the beans. I'm a broadcaster. That's what I do well, do interviews. But you guys, I find you in awe. And you mentioned earlier, you played a lot of parties. I used to go watch bands in high school, and you probably did the same thing when they were playing in the garage at a friend's house. We would go watch them play at the garage and drink
Right.
beers. So it sounds like that's how you got started too, which is
Oh
pretty
yeah. Well,
cool.
I was garage, definitely. I was in the garage. Yep. As a young
That was some cool
teenager.
stuff. That
Yep.
was cool stuff for sure.
It's funny that speaking of that, I parties. I was last couple weeks ago. I got a call or a message on Messenger on Facebook that somebody said, "Ask my availability." That's all they said, and I was like, "For what? Like music? Are you talking about music?" And they were like, "Yeah." And I didn't know this person at all. They didn't know me. I said, "How did you find me?" And they said, "We just opened Facebook and looked on a page and we saw you." So they were having a private party in the backyard for somebody's, birthday, older woman. When I say older, I mean like my age. And um, so I played backyard parties before, so I'm like, all right, summer backyard party. They probably got kegs, and it's a crazy
Great.
party. And she said, "Well, what do you play?" And I was like, "Well, what are you looking for?" And she says, "We want somebody who can play, Chris Stapleton, country." I was like, all right, I got it. And Dave, we also like Jimmy Buffett and Frank Sinatra. And I was like, all right, I don't know many Buffett songs, so I said I can do it. So I spent that week learning Jimmy Buffett songs. So I'm like, all right, they want Jimmy Buffett, they want country. I'm gonna go rock this party. So I show up in shorts and a tank top. I go in there and it's a formal. Everybody, all the women are wearing dresses, and they were like, older group of people. They look like doctors. The guys were all shorts, but really dressed up. And tables with tablecloths and place settings. And I'm like, holy crap! I look like a scrub. So I went to the car. I changed. I'm the guy that brings like 5 shirts to a gig.
Oh
So
wow! Yeah, you had 5 shirts the other night too.
Yeah, I did. Right, you're right. You saw it. And
pick the right shirt for me here.
Right, I bring him and I said all different colors, and I just said, Sharon, pick my shirt. Anyway, so I was like, oh my God, what am I doing here? I felt out of place. They were very nice. It was a great party though, but I played everything they wanted. That's I'm that guy. If you hire me for a party and you ask for something specific, I will learn that. If I don't know it, I will learn it for the party, because that's what I'm being hired for, and I learned some cool songs that I never played before, so it always adds to your repertoire.
What is your biggest regret in life?
In life in general?
Yes.
My biggest regret in life was, I hate the way this sounds, but my biggest regret in life was getting married to the wrong person when I knew it was the wrong person, and I did it anyway. So yeah, that made a domino effect of a lot of bad things in my life, but that was probably my biggest regret. That and not taking guitar lessons.
Guitar lessons, okay.
Yeah.
All right, this is going to be a fun one for you. What is the most trouble you have ever gotten into? I like some of the answers I get from this one.
The most trouble I've ever gotten into with the law, or just in general?
It could be what. Hey, I have a list, man. But we all look. It's social. It can be whatever. I mean, we're a podcast here. It's not on regular terrestrial radio where I got to go beep, 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 beep. If it's
right.
Whatever it is, man.
What's funny is, now this is going to ruin my cool guy image, but I haven't really gotten in a lot of trouble in my life. I got busted smoking weed one time on the beach, when it was illegal. But I don't think I've never really been like, done any crime or anything like that. And I can't remember really getting in any huge trouble in any way.
Wow, that's good. Good for you.
Yeah. I'm a choir boy.
That's a good thing, man. That's a good thing.
You believe that one?
Hey, some of us have a closet, man. Some more than others. What's the most daring thing you've ever did?
Oh my God. Daring thing?
Daring thing.
Do you ask these questions to everybody?
I get some nice answers here. I mean, it's fun. It's all in fun. Remember, I told you, it's all
I know.
daring. Having a good time.
What's the most daring thing I've ever done? That I can talk about?
Whatever you want to say.
Some people out there know me. I don't know. So boring. I guess I'm boring. Maybe cliff diving.
You've done cliff diving?
Yeah, in Jamaica.
Damn. I like the water and swim. I don't think I'd do that. Wow, that is daring. Wow, that's a good
don't
one.
go down feet first. I'll tell you that.
Don't go down feet first?
No.
Really?
Yeah, because if you're at a bad angle, it hits the boys right there. It doesn't hurt.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. I don't want to hurt the boys. What's the best part? All right. You're not being conceited here, but just let's be real with it. What is the best part of being you?
The best part of being me is my positive attitude, my outlook on things, especially now. I see things with different eyes now, and I tend to influence people in a positive way. I'm told, uh, especially lately. I'm a I'm like a human stress ball. You know, I I do a lot of friend therapy and help my friends and talk to people a lot. I'm a talker, and I try to talk people off the ledge, and it works. You know, so to me, that's my personal best quality about me, I think.
I have to tell you this. When I went to that benefit last year for you, right? And you got up there and sang, and I think it was, I don't know how much pain you were in. I don't
It,
know how much
it,
suffering you were in at the time, because
I
me
was
personally, I can't deal with pain. And the last thing I would have ever thought about doing was get up there and sing. When you
I
were
was hurt.
doing that,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was going, holy shit, how is he doing this?
Well, you know, I felt that I wanted to do it because everybody supported me so much that I wanted to be there. I wanted to show my face, and I wanted to thank everybody in person. And it was hard. It was hard just talking up there. It was very emotional, as you saw, and um, you know, I felt like I really wanted to give it back and thank people for that. And it's just amazing that the community we live in, and the people that there's so much support that came out of the woodwork. It really blew me away. It changed me forever. You know, it made me look at people and things different. You know,
It gave
and
me it
I've
gave me
been,
hope in humans again when I saw all those people
oh
there.
boy,
I
sure
was I
did.
was
Yes,
I
it
was
did.
I mean, think of all the stuff that's going on in our society right now, right? When
When
I
I
saw all
saw
those
those
people at
faces,
the head, I was like, wow, all these people there
yeah,
for you. I was like, wow.
there was a lot of tears in that audience that day, and that I saw that, and it was very powerful. Uh, and my all my buddies on stage too, that and everybody that came out and played and helped organize it, and everything was just amazing the way everybody stepped up. And even you know, I had to get cleared from my doctor to do that. You know, and there's a
I
funny
heard.
story. There's a funny story behind this. So he said, I thought he was going to say no. He said, no, go do it, but you have to come in the back door and get on stage for do your thing for 15 minutes or 20 minutes. Don't let people approach you, because I was immunocompromised and I couldn't have a lot of people
Correct.
coming up to me through
Right.
the chemo. And so he said, get off stage and get out, you know, because everybody wanted to come up and say
Of
hello, and
course.
I couldn't do that. So
Right.
I got my brother-in-law, who's the perfect guy for that, to be like my bodyguard, my security. Right? And
Right.
you got to know this guy. You know, he gets right in there, and he was not letting anybody get near me, and he doesn't know anybody in the scene. He doesn't know. So I'm on stage, and Eddie Testa came in the back door to come up, and he was going to come up on stage with me. My brother-in-law wouldn't let him in. He didn't know who he was. He
Right.
thought he
Right.
was, and he's like, he's turned him away. He wouldn't let him in. He was going to jump up on stage with me. And so I'm on my driving home, and I get a phone call from Eddie. He said, I was there. They wouldn't let me in. And I was like, oh shit, my brother-in-law, he didn't know. You know, I felt really bad about that, because that would have been great, you know. But yeah, but
Just
as
doing
far
what he was supposed to do, man. He was protecting you. That's a good
he
thing.
was protecting me, yeah, I know. I should have briefed him on who was coming, but
He's better than
yeah, but
most bodyguards, man. You should hire him as a
yeah, he's the guy you want as the
bodyguard.
bodyguard. Trust me. But the benefit as a whole was just it was amazing. It's just the whole thing was just.
I actually met the woman. She was at your thing last week. She did a hell of a job with that.
Cindy.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. She was a big part of it. There were a lot of people. Her, Patty Wells, um, uh, Debbie Morse. Oh my God, so many people. My sister, my brother-in-law, my family. Amy Harrigal, Kelly Ketchmar. I shouldn't even start naming names, because I know I'm going to forget somebody. But there were so
Okay,
many
you got a lot
people
of people that care about you, brother,
that
man. I tell
really
you,
got involved, and really got involved in that thing, and all the people that gave gift baskets. And I wasn't really involved in running, but I heard step by step, you know, and all the musicians that performed, and you know, and all the people that just continued to help me out throughout the year after that would come bring me food to my house and come and take me out to lunch and every week, and call me every day, make sure I'm doing okay. And I went through a hard time. It was middle of the winter. I was recovering from everything. It was bad. It's a bad time, but I'm out of it now. So
It changes you, don't it?
sure does. Made me
In a
entirely
positive
different
manner,
person.
right?
Gave me new eyes. I see the world different, and I see people differently. And I just every day I thank God for those people that were there for me. And pulled me through all this. And it really does take a village, and that village was stepped right up and helped me.
Find out who
Something
your
I'll
friends are,
never
don't you?
forget.
Find out who your
Yes,
friends are.
yes, and on a smaller scale, I also learned who my friends are not. So
I was going to get that. I was going to get to that one.
yeah, it's funny. It's
Worse.
really funny. When these things happen. There's people you expect that are going to be, oh yeah, they're going to be there, and they disappear. And then there are people that you never expected to be there that just appear out of nowhere, that you didn't know well, but now I know well, and really stepped up and showed me who the people that they are. So it was great.
Well, I give you kudos, man. I mean, everything. A lot of people in my life of getting sick. I'm glad somebody's that's beating the shit out of cancer, man.
Yeah,
And
man.
God, knock on wood, man. I mean,
Knock on wood,
seriously,
or whatever this is, but
I
yeah,
mean, hell of a unbelievable what a year has done for you, man. I gotta
especially for
say that.
pancreatic. I my last 2 scans are clear. So it's right now I'm NED, no evidence of disease.
Brother,
I
keep it
do
going, man.
radiation till July 10th, and then I'm done. So, and I can get back to life. It is kicking my butt a little bit, the radiation. I had it today, and it's a lot of fatigue. I had to take my nap before I did this, and I can still do gigs, but I got to nap like twice a day, they say, to replenish your energy.
All right, I appreciate you doing this. You should have told me that. We could have canceled it.
No,
Thanks for
come
doing
on.
this.
I don't cancel stuff like that.
I'm just, I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
I appreciate you doing this with me.
Yeah.
If you could have a conversation with your younger self, what would you say to yourself?
I would say, uh, hmm, I would say study more. Study whatever it is you're doing. Study music. Study whatever you're into. Study more and learn more. Learn your craft more. And I always wanted to. I would have told my younger self to continue my interest in playing piano, which I never did. But I really wanted to. When I was a young kid, I wanted to play the piano. Never learned it, but I would have told my younger self, learn the piano. And keyboard players are in demand. And of course, the obvious one is don't get married.
There you go. We're all part of the same club, man. I'm
Yeah,
part of that
yes,
club.
yes, yes.
I got married too young too, so I
I could
understand
tell
that.
you stories that I can't really go into here, but yeah.
Me too. This is interesting. So we got off to we talked for the last 5 minutes about what is something that you learned about yourself in the past year.
What I learned about myself is that I'm a lot stronger than I thought I was. I think when you're faced with something big, you realize how strong you are, and you have a choice. It's fight or flight. And I fought, and I learned that I'm more of a fighter than I ever thought I was. To get through this, and when I look death right in the face, and it's scary, and so and I also learned that I've become a better person than I was. I also learned that I was partying too much before I got sick, and I look back now and I see pictures and stuff, and I see. Well, I was also sick at the time and didn't know it, and it was sitting on the tumor was sitting on my liver, and it was affecting everything. But I mean, sometimes when you surround yourself with the wrong people, you do the wrong things. And I was surrounded with the wrong people, and I was doing the wrong things. And so now I'm in a much better place because I eat a lot better. I work out 3 times a week. I do have a couple drinks here and there, but nothing even close to what I was, and I kind of realized how stupid I was, as far in that respect.
I get that portion of the program. Totally
Yeah.
understand. What is your go-to karaoke song? I've seen you at karaoke a couple
Oh
times.
my
What's your
God.
go-to one? I was starting to curveballs are coming now, man.
My go-to karaoke song. Oh my God. Um, it's Tequila. No, that's a joke. Uh, I like to do karaoke. Uh, if I get a chance, I don't do it that much, but I like to do I Am the Highway or Like a Stone by Chris Cornell. I like those two.
What's your favorite food?
My favorite food is my favorite food is well, lately I really like the chicken and waffles at the American Hotel. So I'll say chicken or chicken parmesan or chicken and waffles at the
Chicken and
American
waffles.
Hotel.
I've never heard that before.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. It was
Really?
so good. And I had it there, and I was never tried it. And I know it's like a Southern thing, and I was sitting outside on the sidewalk tables and at night, and they have the gazebo down there. I don't know if you're familiar with Freehold, Main Street and Freehold.
Yeah.
So the Chuck Lambert band was playing. So it's blues. So I ordered the chicken and waffles and the bourbon, the Fallen Angel bourbon drink. So it's the whole Southern feel. And I got that chicken and waffles, and I was like, wow, so good. It was like really, really. I go there now, and the first thing they say to me is chicken and waffles. And I said, yeah, maybe I'll try something different this time. But yeah, I like that. I don't know if it's my favorite. I don't. But that's what popped in my head.
All right. I get to the portion of the podcast where if you don't know me well enough, and you do, I love sports. And you said you don't like sports, but all of us have played sports. All of us have taken a
Oh yeah,
crack at
I
it.
played sports, but I'm not a sports. I can tell you a thing much about it. But what do you got?
What did you play when you were younger?
I played football, and I was captain of the track team in high school.
Do
I
you
was
watch
defensive
any
back.
sports now?
No, I was defensive back in high school. I
Wow.
I I fractured my collarbone. I broke probably in almost every finger, on every hand in a couple seasons. Um, I was that crazy. I was crazy and small, so I would get hurt a lot. You know, uh,
You would throw
but
your body in there.
I would go in like a bullet, and I
That's
wasn't the big
typical.
guy. I wasn't the big guy, that's for sure.
Right.
You know.
Right. So we'll get away from sports. I usually get sports there, but we got out of that really quickly. So tell us all what you have coming up, upcoming gigs, upcoming other things you have coming up. I know you told me a couple of them at McCann's. Go ahead and tell everybody what you got coming up.
Okay, well, I do have a schedule at McCann's. Let me see here. I'm looking at my schedule. Well, it's coming up in the fall. I I was played with Only Human, the band. We played for a number of years, and we were used to be smoking band out there, and we played a lot. And two of the guys retired, Steve Trigger on guitar and Mike Madden on bass. And uh, so when I got sick, we did do, I believe, right, the season before I got sick, we did a couple festivals for Just Jersey Fest. My friend Allison Kohler out there, she books all those festivals. She owns the company, and so now in the fall, the guys had a meeting while I was sick, and they decided to come back for me and do a victory tour. And we also picked up Eddie Carson on guitar as well with us. So that's 2 guitars. So we're coming back in late summer, early fall. We're going to be doing the New Jersey Seafood Festival in Homedale at Bellworks for Just Jersey
Nice.
Fest. And hopefully we'll get some other stuff in there. We haven't even gone back into rehearsals yet, but I'm looking forward to that. But coming up this Sunday, I'm at Trey in Freehold. I'm there every other Sunday for brunch, 11 to 2. And on the other Sundays, Rich Bolden is playing. So we alternate Sundays and we work our schedule out that way. And then on July 3rd, this is an interesting one. I'm going to be filling in with Moondoggy with Charlie DeVolo and the guys. And Charlie will be there, but I'm going to be doing the show with them at Water Street. Then I got coming up in July, I have Maggie's, Fox Hollow Vineyards. I'm going to be doing Caffrey's with Josh Werner and Jeff Propert. Then back at McCann's, Max Pub, a bunch of stuff. I do nursing homes as well. So I got a few of those during the day. The Tiki Boat ones, I do Brick Tiki Boat, Belmar Tiki Boat. So there's things are coming up, and even more and more are coming up now that I'm back. I'm really not fully back yet. So once I get fully back, there are other venues that are pending. I'm going to be back in Bums, Island Beach Fish Company, and there's other stuff pending that I'm talking to people about that isn't confirmed yet, but it's coming. And so comes August, I'm ready to go back full. So if anybody out there hearing wants to book me, get in touch. Plus I have a couple duo things coming up too that I'm gonna be doing a duo show with JJ Tango, Jay of Jay and Amy. We're gonna be doing a Trey on the 30th of July, and a couple other things. I'm talking to different people about duo projects. I get calls almost every day. My girlfriend's amazed. She goes, she's like, every day somebody calls you to play or do a project or something. And so I do have a bunch of logs in the fire, or what do they say, pokers in the fire or whatever. But I do have a bunch of stuff going on. I have some. I'm in talks to do some very interesting things duo wise with some people that are well known, and hopefully that comes to fruition and we can get that going. So
I know the one you mentioned to me, and I'm not going to mention it. Okay.
Yeah, right. It was nothing's etched in stone yet, but things are coming. Things they'll all come in due time, and everybody's busy. It's just a matter of getting better and healing and getting back out there, and it's all coming. I'm almost done with my treatment, and I'm almost ready to go back full force. And as a matter of fact, a big part of my recovery through this whole thing was speaking of Only Human band, the bass player in the band, Mike Madden, he writes, he's involved in writing books, and he's studies cellular intelligence, how positive thinking can heal your body, and the role that it has in healing yourself. So he wrote a 3-book series called the Comeback series. It's on you can get them on Amazon, and I'm kind of the subject of the book. It really pertains to cellular intelligence and healing yourself through positive thinking. But I'm the subject and so I wanted to show these things. This is the first book. It's got my picture on the cover, which is very strange for me. But this is the sound check. And he sent this to me. That's me when I lost my hair early on, and it's called the sound check. It's on Amazon. It's Mike Madden. If you want to look that up, it's really beneficial if you're sick or even if you're not sick in life in general. But took that picture in the bathroom of Home Depot and used that. But I was walking by, I clicked it. Anyway, he sent me just the intro the night before my surgery, and man, it is so powerful. I might cry my eyes out. It's just unbelievable writing and very powerful book. And then the second one is The Rehearsal. That's me there. I'm at the Stone Pony. And this is, all getting back on stage and coming. So the third book is going to relate to the show of the comeback, and that one's not out yet. And and then we're going to come back and go back out there on tour. And these books are kind of like a roadmap, of us coming back and the whole journey of when we met to where we are now. And that's why they agreed to come back and get back into it. So, I'm excited.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, it's amazing. I highly recommend these if you can read them. They're really helpful.
Rich, I want to thank you for joining me tonight.
Thank you.
God bless you, man. A year ago I saw you and I was like, holy shit. And I see you now. And I mean, whatever you're doing, it's working.
It's working, man. I pray a lot,
man.
Yeah.
Well,
and
whatever you got to do, man. You don't know my story, but I always prayed a lot when I was at rock bottom, and I was out drinking. So I was, I prayed. I don't talk about religion with anybody. I keep that to myself. I post so much on social media.
Me too.
I don't talk about religion, but I pray a lot. I pray every day. Thank you for another day. And I pray when I wake up, give me another day. So I get it.
I've been given a lot of gifts this past year, and I'm grateful for that.
God bless you, man. Thanks for joining me tonight, man. I appreciate it.
You are so welcome.
Kicking ass, man.
Yes. Thank you.
Talk to you, all right?
All righty.